What's going on, guys? Big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta today here with D-Boy, and we are back with more OverDress news. So today we finally have the OverDress mechanic. How cool is that? And let me say, I would say I'm impressed, just because it's not that different, but at the same time, it's kind of exciting. So let's talk about it. Let's explain how all of these cards work and what they do. So we have the grade 3 that we have already seen, and now we also have its ability. This is the dragon from the Dragon Empire, and then we have a grade 2. Oh, we got the wrong one. We got a grade 2. The Genesis will be up soon as well. We have the grade 2, which has the OverDress skill, and you can also see it has the red all around the unit, and that's when we come back to the arts. If you haven't seen the video of the art of OverDress that we talked about, the different art, the different colors, you could check that video out. But then it's nice to see that the OverDress units have that color back into it, the color of the nation. So I think for every nation there will be a different color, and then you will see that they have the OverDress. And we also have the grade 0, which is kind of an OverDress material. So in this video we'll talk about all of those. We'll also talk about the questions and answers from Wishy, and yeah. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you can subscribe to the channel, like and comment, and also be a part of our Facebook group if you like and if you use Facebook, because on Facebook we do all of the news right away, but sometimes it takes a day to upload the video. Alright, so let's start with the grade 3 first. Oh no, let's just start with the grade 0. And then go back to the grade 3, then go to the grade 2. The reason why I want to do that is because we know that from the first booster box, so these are trial deck cards, the first booster box we see actually grade 3 that looks like this. So it's possible that that grade 3 also have OverDress, and you see that this grade 2 looks a little bit like that grade 3, and people are saying this looks a lot like Jet. Yeah, okay, sure. Does, but again it's more like a dragon a dragon robot, let's say, and again it looks very similar to the grade 3 that we'll get in the first booster box. So now we know for sure that this is actually the deck that the new UU plays, which is not based on dragons, but it's based on robot dragons. That's very important information and very nice to know, because you could also feel a little bit how his character is built. It's maybe a little bit cartoonisher. He's like a kid, but also has the ambition to be strong, something like that. It does give me the feeling like Digimon kind of thing. Alright, so talking about Digimon, about upgrading your Digimon to be better, is actually the same idea with OverDress. So the grade 0 has the ability that it could not get targeted by your opponent card effects. So it's just a normal grade 0, you can have it in your deck and you will be just calling it or discarding it or whatever. So it's called Trickster, and a continuous regular ability, this card cannot be chosen by your opponent card effects. That's it for the grade 0. Then we go back to the grade 3, which has 2 abilities. The first one is a Vanguard ability, and you discard a card from your hand to call a grade 0 from your drop zone. So with this you can call your Trickster back, and when you have your Trickster on the field, that's when you could call the grade 2, because the grade 2 has the ability OverDress, and it's set Trickster. So you OverDress on the top of the Trickster. So you have the Trickster chilling on the field, and you call the grade 2 on the top of the grade 0, and that's when you OverDress. And the grade 0 will stay beneath the grade 2. It's like soul, but it's not soul. It's more like an equip gauge. Like it's just chilling beneath it. Alright, then you may place it by stacking it on a specific unit instead of normal calling it. So this also doesn't count as normal call. It counts as OverDress. It's very different than normal call. So that's important. Then when this unit is in the OverDress state, so that's the second ability, attacks a Vanguard, this unit gets plus 10k until the end of battle. Then you could Soul Blast 2 to retire one of your opponent's rearguard. So pretty much, if you are an OverDress, you have two abilities. The first one is getting the plus 10k whenever it attacks, and the second one, you could Soul Blast to retire something. So because these are trial deck cards, this is very interesting ability, and we're not going to say how good it is and how not, because this is just the start of OverDress, so we don't know how fast they go through everything. Maybe after showing all the trial decks, we could talk about which trial deck is a little bit better than others, or which trial decks has which specific cards in it and what makes it good, consistent, whatever. But the good thing about this is that it does feel like having the grade 2 and the grade 0 is already giving you a good starting foundation for the UU deck, which you could play and update with the upcoming cards from the new booster sets, which is booster set 1. And as we see, the top monster of that deck, the top card, is actually, I think, a grade 3 that looks very similar to this grade 2. So maybe we'll also get a grade 1 with the same kind of ability. So this is actually all the new cards. We've talked about them. Then you get to ask yourself the big question. Does this mean that we actually have to play this grade 0 in our deck? Yes, we do. This grade 0 will be actually put in this deck, maybe at 4 even. And then if you ask, well, could we still ride until the right grades? Because the grades will be different, right? Yes, because you still have your right deck. So discarding a Trickster from your hand to ride into whatever is actually good, because you will have the Trickster in your drop zone, and with the grade 3 you will be calling the Trickster to the field. So there is even a big possibility that all the grade 3s from the trial deck could actually have the same first ability. That is a possibility, but again, we don't know yet, so we'll have to wait and see. But pretty much, this is really nice. How good is this in premium? In premium it's good because you have lots of grade 0s that you could use their ability, but again, it's, what is it? It's an act ability, so you will not waste not striding to use this ability. Although there are some clans that could stride in the main phase, we will not get into premium because again, premium will be one crazy format, and if you guys want us to highlight something, we could do that. But most of these OverDress videos will just talk about OverDress itself. So yeah, one more thing that I get the idea is that we are not getting triggers with abilities. Although I've seen and heard lots of people that actually want to get triggers with abilities, I actually don't want to get triggers with abilities. Why, D-boy? Why don't you want triggers with ability? Dislike, unscribe, blah 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 blah. Well, the answer is very simple. I actually like the cards to be very simple and the mechanics to be very different from one nation, from one deck to another. And when we got those triggers with abilities, it actually went out of hand very fast in premium, or back in the days in G. So getting a trigger that could go to the soul and give something extra 3k like back in the days seems fair because every clan got it, but not every clan got it in time. Some clans could actually abuse it more than others. So there will always be here and there something that you could use. And if we get triggers with abilities, then this grade 3's ability is actually better than we think it is, because you could pretty much get any grade 0 back from your drop zone, then you reuse it in a Kagero deck, in a Dragon Empire deck, which is very strange because it's not supposed to do that. That's something that Grand Blue is supposed to do. And doing this early is something that I don't know if I like or dislike. I don't know if this will be a generic skill that every grade 3 will get, but basically I'm very excited with this OverDress mechanic that you kinda call on top of your unit, and the unit stays there, and it's a specific unit. We have some questions and answers that's also pretty nice to get into because it's important to understand the mechanic quite well. So we have the first question: if you do not perform overdress for the grade 2, am I unable to call it? A very strange way to ask a question. They should have just said, am I able to call it? You are able to call it. So the answer is you can normal call the grade 2, but it will not be in overdress state, because the overdress state is when you call it on the top of the trickster, but we don't call it you just overdress it. So it's not a normal call, it's not a superior call, it's not a call at all, it's just overdress. So that also makes the whole overdress mechanic different than calling. I could be mistaken right here, but that's what I got. So what I understand from everything and also from the stream. So question number 2: if my Vanguard is grade 1, can I overdress the grade 2? No, you could not. It's the same as a call or normal call. You could only overdress whenever your Vanguard is the same grade as the unit that you want to overdress, or higher. So you could not overdress on the top of the trickster if you're chilling on grade 1 or grade 0 or whatever. Question number 3: is the overdress or original dress card trickster kept in soul? No, it's not soul, it's overdress mechanic. So you could, it's overdress material, so you could not soul blast it as it's part of your soul. That's something that we really need to understand, is that soul is everything beneath your Vanguard. Equip gauges is not a soul. The thing that Genesis does is not a soul. Soul is only what is beneath your Vanguard, which is soul. That's open cards beneath your Vanguard that you call soul, not anything else. Alright, what happens when the grade 2 gets retired? When the grade 2 gets retired, let's read what they said. In the event that the grade 2 retires, it goes to the drop zone together with the overdress or original dress. The overdress mechanic, they call that original dress, which is the trickster. This does not mean that the original dress, which is trickster, is retired. However, so what they want to say, this Bushi, I mean, really, there sometimes when they are trying to have the English text, it's so strange to read. So I normally just read everything before I get to answer the questions for you guys, because this is really bad translation. Sorry Bushi for this, but you really need to translate this bullshit better. But what they are trying to say is that when your grade 2 retires, it goes to the drop zone, as well as the overdress materials, which they call it original dress, which is the trickster. The trickster now is not retired, it doesn't count as retired, it just moved from being an overdress material, original dress, to going to the drop zone. That's it. So that's important. When you say, hey, my trickster cannot get retired or cannot get targeted by your opponent's card effect, it doesn't count as units on the field chilling on a Vanguard circle, so its ability doesn't work. Maybe we'll have units in the future that has ability as overdress materials, original dresses. One more question, actually 2 more I think. When the grade 2 is superior called, can you overdress on the top of the trickster that is already chilling on a Vanguard circle? This is a very good question, because now they are asking, if you superior call, can you overdress right away? And the answer is no, you could not. For overdress, you will place it on top of the specific unit instead of performing a normal call. So it counts as normal call, so you could only overdress from your hand, or maybe in the future something will say overdress. But superior calling, when you superior call, you could not overdress. So that's very good questions. finally a good question. And the last question that we have right here is when you intercept with an overdress, it doesn't matter if it was overdressed or not. The shield value is just the shield value that you have as your grade 2. And that's actually it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys learned something from it, and I hope that you guys are much excited as us to see what all the trial decks would do. And me myself, I'm already a big fan of the overdress mechanic, being able to use that right deck to its extreme, to discard cards from your hand that you could recall. And the thing that I do like a lot, as I said at the start of the video, is just like, it's really nice to be able to see how cute this thing is, and then you could kind of upgrade it to be this amazing card, and then the new grade 3 from the new set will kind of be the ultimate update maybe of the trickster. So again, I think that now I know how you could not mix the nations, because if this was one specific deck, let's call it Kagero, this could be the trickster deck. So this could be the name of the deck, because all the overdress stuff you will need to call them on the trickster. So the trickster is your original dress, and if that's the case, then you could not mix two different grade 0. So you have the trickster, which is the original dress of this deck, which is again Kagero, and then you have another card which is called Boboba, and the Boboba is another deck that is the original mechanic. What do you think of Boboba as a name? And yeah, that's actually it for this video. I hope, again, you guys enjoyed it, learned something from it. If you have anything to ask or to answer or to add in the video, you could just comment in the comment section below. We'd be more than happy to read your comments and enjoy it as well. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.